Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where I'll be doing technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, if you want to get my daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, and definitely trade ideas like this one on Baba, then we got another one on Baidu. Definitely check out my link down in the description for Patreon. And when you go for that annual membership, you do save some money there. Now, what's happening in the market? Well, Friday was just a shit show in the market. It was absolutely flat. A lot of back and forth here on SPY and even on Nasdaq. End of the day, we actually went nowhere. And Dow finishing the day a little bit down, but you can see S&P and Nasdaq 100 pretty much flat on the day. Now, this week we do have lots of earnings. So if you want to take a screenshot of this earnings calendar, go ahead and do that right here. We do have a lot of earnings this week, including the big ones like Tesla and Google. Then we have IBM, AT&T, some big names, Intel. So we'll see how that goes this week. On top of that, the market just going absolutely flat on Friday. Dow was down 0.32%, Nasdaq absolutely flat, S&P flat, and Russell going down 0.71%. Maybe that's telling us that you know uh, market might be due for a pullback. 11 sectors that makes up S&P 500. Utilities led the way on Friday, consumer cyclical, real estate, basic materials, and everything else pretty much deep in red. And then healthcare took the most of it, right on the chin, down all the way here on bottom. Week to date performance completely a risk on move. Technology leading the way on top, up over 2%. Stock market map. What do we have here? Well, Nvidia still holding at a brand new all-time high. Apple slightly going up 0.5%, Amazon up 1%, Tesla up 3.21%, Meta up 0.41%, Netflix going down finally 5%, Google up 0.81%, and Microsoft also finishing up down slightly 0.32%. And you can see, market was pretty much just stable on Friday. It didn't do much except some names like Netflix that went down 5% because they had earnings, I believe, on Wednesday night, and from there, it just didn't do too well. And now let's talk about Apple stock. On Apple stock, it was up Friday, 0.5%, but pretty much we're not getting anywhere with Apple stock. You can see we did get that cross over the 50-day moving average. The red line actually got that cross. The white line crossed above the red line, so 20-day crossed above the 50-day, and that is looking good. But as of right now, we got a lot of you know uh, indecision type of candles here on Apple stock, back and forth chop, and so far, no significant breakout to the upside. So we will see. End of this month, there is earnings coming up. And this thing is due for a run back up to the upside. You can see Nvidia stock hitting $4 trillion market cap, and there is no signs of any sort of a pullback, nothing. And I know these two names are not the same thing, but Apple was the king and still possibly the king, so Apple needs to show that Apple is the king, and if it's going to show that, it's going to show, by getting that breakout in the price action and going higher and possibly retesting previous all-time highs and then going back up to brand new all-time highs. Because last, I would say 1 year to maybe year and a half, on Apple stock there is no growth. It just back and forth, a lot of chop. Yes, we got over 200, but it's not at 300. If you consider Nvidia at $4 trillion market cap, Microsoft hitting over 500, where is the growth here on Apple stock? Especially last year and a half, right? Nothing. So I think Apple could be a catch-up trade. It's going to catch up to these names at some point. Maybe not next week, maybe not this month, next month, but it's gonna happen whether you like Apple stock or you don't. I think there is huge upside potential here on Apple stock. We just have to be patient with Apple. So Apple here, if this thing breaks over that, it did technically close just over these moving averages right here, but we cannot to close. We cannot afford to close below 207. It has to hold over that, and we need to stay over 211. And if that happens going into Monday session tomorrow, we could see continuation up to this high right here and previous highs right here where we got quite a few rejections right here around 215. If we can get over those levels, then easily can go up to 221 to close the gap, maybe even retest these highs right here, which is at 225 to 226 on Apple. Now, if this thing falls below 207, in that case, this is not going to play out at this point, and you will see some downside possibly coming down and retesting this balance range right here, which is at 203. On AMD, it's down 2%. So AMD got that big move, and you guys saw that before. It was a flagging right here. I called it out. I took off the flag right now. That's why it's not on here, but you can go back and check out my previous videos. This flag, I even was in this stock with that flag, and someone was saying it's not going to go to 158. Well, boy, oh boy, did this thing deliver, guys. I mean, I did not cover these stocks last few days, just taking a break because summer is also very short and it's about to end. We got about a month left or a month and a half. So just taking time off and relaxing. It does not mean that I'm not trading or, I don't care about you guys and technical analysis. I definitely do and will be continuing to do that. But as of right now, that's why I'm just backing off and not, putting out a lot of videos. But there will be some videos today for sure. Especially if you guys like a stock, Robinhood, you're gonna like this one. I'll be covering Bull stock later on in the play that we're in on Bull. And that thing, it just exploded on Friday, guys. So AMD, we hit the target and came off now, and it's holding over that rising 5-day moving average. 156 can hold, like I said, it can go back up to 162 and possibly this high right here, which is at 174. Now, if this thing gets under 156 and comes back and retest 148, that could be your opportunity to buy the dip as long as, keyword, as long as the support holds right here, guys. If not, we could be pulling back all the way down to 140 on AMD. So it's setting up for a nice move, possibly down here. But as long as the support hold and the retest is successful here on AMD, we could see more higher prices on AMD. I mean, this thing can easily go up to 200. It was getting beaten down here. And many of you guys that are subscribed to my channel, what did I say before? I'm still holding my shares, did not sell any. I called out, many times here that AMD, I think one of the stocks that are getting really beaten down, it can easily go up to 150. And now we went over that target. My position is up nearly 46%, and there is, that's a position on shares. 46%. I was up nearly 50 at 162 right here, and I think it can continue. I can get maybe up to 80% on those shares, which is going to be fantastic. Just holding how many months? Just couple months. I can always put a stop at break even and get out, or even higher price, and just get out with profit. But I think AMD, maybe not right now immediately. At some point, it's going to go back up to 200, 250. Looking at Nvidia stock, what the stock is doing right now. So here's another one. Even though it's actually red for the day, I did call this out also that 510 whales are targeting 510. We exploded here on Microsoft on Thursday. Got up to almost 515 and then came back off and now holding that 510, which is going to be a support level to watch going into tomorrow's session. Below that, 507 and then flat 500. If this thing falls below 500, then there is going to be significant downside. And I'll talk about that once we get there if this thing closes under 500. As of right now, 510 holds. We could be retesting 515, 514 here. Previous high from Friday. And over that, I mean, there is a target here on Microsoft which can be 550, but I'm not expecting this stock to move that fast up to 550 at this point. Things are getting a bit frothy and overbought. Also, we do have earnings coming out end of the month here on Microsoft. So Netflix with earnings came back off 5% down on Friday and holding at the support right here, guys, 1200. It went slightly under lower Bollinger Band, came back up, and now pretty much down on Friday 5%. But if you look at the stock, how much this thing went up, even if this stock comes back down to like 1000, I think it's really overbought and overpriced right now. So Netflix, is this it? Are we going to see some sort of a recovery rally here to the upside? Possible. So watch out. 1200 holds. we might see some sort of a move back up to this range where it was holding, or kind of a within this bull flag, it was bear flagging here as well. Watch out for a move up to maybe 1240 if this thing actually can stay over 1200, and possibly up to 1251 to 1270. Now, if it does not hold 1200, it might get a deeper pullback down to 1163, and then 1065 is going to be the next stop if this thing continues this downtrend. We saw some high volume selling, so I don't see a lot of buying here happening on Netflix as this thing is dipping with that earnings coming out last week. On Meta, it's up 0.41%. So Meta, I tried, I think Wednesday, or actually Thursday, I tried some calls, closed it. I tried again on Friday, and that position is up slightly. Nothing big. I think I'm up like $5 a share here on Meta. And we got a hammer type candle. So let's see, with the earnings coming up end of this month, if this thing is able to get over 710 to 715, these moving averages, it can push easily up to previous all-time highs. Now, also, if this thing pulling back and not holding at 682, we almost got there down to lower band right here, 688. That's going to be the first level of support to watch. And then 682, the next one. And the 50-day moving average is sitting right below 682. So these are going to be some strong levels of support to watch. But if this thing is able to hold right here, then watch out for a breakout over 710 to 715, which will be these moving averages right here. And if we can get over that, you're going to see a retest of previous all-time highs for sure on Meta. On Amazon stock, it's up 1%. So Amazon is definitely making that move up to that 230 range. Now the Bollinger Band expanded up to 231. So if it wants to go there and we got some volume, which we are getting even on Friday, I think this week this thing can push up to 230. So keep an eye on that. And there is a gap at 236 as well. To the downside, key level of support to watch 224, 223. These moving averages and these highs can act as a support. Below that, 220, 216, and then we can talk about this gap and more downside. But as of right now, looks like it's going to be a slow grind up to 230, and it can definitely get there this week. On Google stock, it's up 0.67%. So I've been talking about Google stock that it can come up and close this gap at 204, and looks like it is, it's on its way, guys. I mean, we got that breakout. We had the retest right here. You can see 181, 182. Retest was successful here on Google, and now it's pushing back up to the upside. So early as tomorrow, it can possibly go to 189, 190, and from there, 200 is definitely on the card for Google. Now, if we get some sort of a pullback in overall stock market, and this thing pulls back, you need to carefully consider buying the dip at 181, 182, as long as the support holds. If we fall below that here on Google, then the next big support at 176 and 173, 170, and you can see this trend line held a couple of times, and now we're going right up, even though this looks like a channel, or you can call this on a weekly time frame a bear flag, which is forming, but things are moving. So I would not be too concerned about bear flag, and think about this gap on top. So there is plenty of upside still on Google stock if you can catch it at the right time. But I would not be, new money long at 190, 185. I think we took a trade here and already took some profit off of that. So that was really nice on Google stock. And I think it can continue as long as it's over 181 to 182. On Tesla stock, it's up 3.21%. So wells are targeting 350, and it's on its way to 350. You can see, I mean, this is a nice move up from these lows, and now it's against the resistance right here, 330. There was a rejection on Friday. If we gap up or somehow we get over 330, it can push easily up to 350 plus, maybe even these highs right up here, which is over 362 plus. So Tesla looking strong at this point. We do have earnings. You guys saw that at the beginning of my video, which is I think what, Tuesday night or Wednesday here on Tesla. What is it, 23rd? So tomorrow is, we got 20th today. That's 21st. So Wednesday we do have earnings from Tesla. And if this thing pops, if the earnings are good, which I really doubt that it's going to be good with tariff and all that things are playing out with Tesla and Elon Musk. Sales are down pretty much everywhere because other EV makers are selling, all these other EVs as well. So it would be interesting. I mean, I'm not gonna be that much negative on Tesla, but I think it would be interesting to hear what Elon has to say with this earnings and how they're actually, selling and what they're selling and how much money they're bringing in for the quarter. So that's gonna be interesting fact to watch, especially this Wednesday from Tesla. But if this thing comes back, there will be support at right here, 324, 316 ish right here, down to 310, and then flat 300. And why these are support levels? Because you can see these moving averages right here, sitting 50, the 20-day. And the 13-day moving average, and that can act as a support on Tesla. If we get over 330, definitely wells are targeting 350. It can go there, and you can possibly play that, but keep that in mind. It's coming with earnings very soon. So IB crush, that's gonna be there soon as you get in. And if things go really against you, the side you're choosing, which could be calls or even if you're choosing puts, and you're just gonna get toasted. So keep that in mind with earnings. It's better to play after earnings, but I think Tesla. It's going in the right direction because of that. Well, targeting 350, it can possibly get to that level this week with some good earnings. On Nvidia stock, I was down slightly on the day, pretty much a flat day. So we are still trading at a brand new all-time high, slightly off from there, and just consolidating here, guys. So there's a bunch of gaps below and upside target. Even if this thing were to run even more, I've been talking about it since 160 or actually 145, 144 right here in this consolidation zone that they're targeting 180 calls on Nvidia. I think these people made money. These whales already made money. Whoever got into calls, they made plenty of money. And now, even if this thing does not reach up to 180, I think profit is already, taken off the table, and it can possibly go up a little bit more and then comes back in. So that is my take on Nvidia. But keep that in mind. We got a bunch of gaps down here, and I think some of these gaps will likely to get filled right here on Nvidia. And the market cap will go under $4 trillion at some point, and you will see Apple's market cap rising, and possibly once again, I don't know when that's going to happen, guys. You will see Apple taking over Nvidia and Microsoft at some point, but we just have to patiently wait and see when that is coming. But that is almost a 98% guarantee that it's going to happen at some point because these companies are always going back and forth, one taking over another. And right now, only thing that is, falling behind the big mega cap Apple. And I think that is the only one that could be a catch up trade, especially catching up to Nvidia and Microsoft. So that is coming next. But if this thing remains over 170, 175, 180 can come easily on Nvidia. Below this 170 to 169, watch out for a move down to 165, and then this gap also right here, which is close to 165. So we could see that move down here on Nvidia early as this week if there is some sort of a pullback in overall market. And that's all I have for you guys. And definitely, guys, I will be putting out that video on bull. And I think there is a huge possibility where that thing follows the path of Robinhood and gets higher. So don't miss out on that video, which is coming out right after this one. Thank you so much, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated.